Oh hey, I'm Gary Katz. I'm a contributing editor to Fine Home Building Magazine and a frequent contributor to the Journal of Light Construction, plus I'm a columnist for the LBM Journal. I've written over 70 articles and 2 books on finished carpentry, and I've published a DVD series too. I'm proud to be a carpenter, and I want other carpenters to feel the same way. I think carpentry is one of the most rewarding careers a man or a woman can have, following a legacy of craftsmanship that's thousands of years old. Educating carpenters is an opportunity that I treasure and I take very seriously. And I want to thank Stabila for supporting education in our industry, and especially for supporting all my programs, including my latest DVD, Installing Wainscoting and Paneling. Like most carpenters, I've lusted after these yellow tools most of my life, starting with every size of spirit level. Next, I got hooked on their lasers. Lasers have revolutionized the way we work. You'll see me using these tools in my wainscoting DVD for shooting level lines. But more than anything, these distance measuring tools that are accurate to within a 1/16 of an inch over 100 feet are really changing the way we work. To give you an idea of what I mean, here's a few examples from my latest program. To find out more, visit my website, GaryMKatz.com. This laser fits almost every need a finished carpenter has. It shoots plumb dots, and it shoots a horizontal line. One horizontal line, and that's all. But that's mostly all we need as finished carpenters. It's a pulsing laser too, so you can use it outdoors or indoors in a large room with a detector. The detector will pick up the laser line, and you'll get a tone. The laser's accurate to 1/4 of an inch over 100 feet, and that's 1/8 of an inch in 50 feet, and it's durable. It has a pendulum lock on the back of it here. That's how you turn the laser on. So the guts of the instrument, you can hear the pendulum in there, don't get banged around while you're not using it. And with this rubber casing on the outside, it can take almost anything you throw at it. And I'm going to adjust that line so it's right on the top of the paneling, not the top of the chair, the bottom of the chair, which is at the top of the panel line. So I want to continue this line and mark it all the way around the room. So I'll come over to this corner, and I'll put a little like arrow right there so we know that's the top of the line. And in the inside corner on the other side, we'll do the same thing. And on this outside corner, we'll do exactly the same thing. And around this end as well. And again, in this inside corner, oh, look how bad the drywall is. It's cracking in the corner. Well, that's not going to matter, because we're going to cover all that with wainscoting. And all the way over at this end of the room, right next to the casing, we'll put a line there too. We have marks at the laser line all the way around the room. And that's how quickly you can lay out a room with a laser. With a level, it would have taken a lot longer, especially around those outside corners on that pop-out. Now let's take a look at another high-tech tool. This little gadget's going to change the way carpenters work. Believe me, in another few years, every carpenter will be carrying one of these on their tool belt like an iPod. I use this tool when I'm measuring baseboards so I don't have to crawl across the floor. I can set it up in one corner, get the dot right on the opposite corner, or in this case on that plinth block, and then push the button one more time. And it'll give me a distance measurement right here on the tool. And I can check that. Sometimes you want to get 2 or 3 readings of the same measurement, and you can push the button real fast a couple of times in the same place, and you'll get all your measurements stacked up on the same, right underneath each other, because the laser distance measuring tool remembers those measurements. I'm going to read in the opposite direction too, without having to crawl across the floor. And even if there's a ladder in the way, or there's something like there is here, I can pick up a measurement. I'm going to hit the button a couple of times here and get a few measurements on that. It's a 104, perfect. All 3 of those are 104, exactly right on. So I'm pretty certain I've got a good measurement there. You try and take 2 or 3 measurements of every length like that, just to make sure that you've got the dot in the right location, because if the dot ends up in a little hole sometimes, you'll end up with an imprecise measurement. This tool is great for measuring floor-to-ceiling panels too, where you have to stretch a tape measure over your head. You don't have to see this display. Just place the tool right on the floor of the surface you want to measure from, locate the red laser dot on the opposite surface, and press the same button a second time. I'll take a couple of measurements here, just to be safe so I can average them out. These instruments are really sensitive and they're highly accurate. Stabila's distance laser measuring device is accurate to within a 1/16 of an inch, and there are very few in the industry that are that accurate. For framers and remodelers, it's a perfect tool. Imagine being able to measure a rafter length without stretching out a tape measure, or measuring plate lengths, or fascia, or soffit trim, or you can probably get the picture. If you can't get the picture, here's a few to look at. Whether you're measuring a gable-end stud or a tall wall stud on the ground or in the air, you don't have to worry about stretching a tape measure. Unlike finish carpenters, framers are always working in the air. With a distance laser tool, you don't need two guys for measuring long joists or rafters. Distance measuring tools are great for wainscoting. They help measure the top rail right at the rail line at the top, even on a really long wall, rather than measuring down here at the floor, which is where there's usually a lot more drywall buildup in the inside corners. Plus, there's times when I like to get the longest measurement. Sometimes it's at the top, sometimes it's at the bottom. This tool is great for picking up both top and bottom measurements at the same time, which is something I often do. This wall here, from the back band, measures. Let me get my dot up a little closer to the laser line there. And I'll take a couple of readings here. Measures 95 inches right on. So I'll make this 94 3/4, right? Since it has an inside corner and a butt end, we subtract 1/4 of an inch. So the frame should measure 94 3/4. To learn more about my latest finish carpentry program, wainscoting and paneling, visit my website, GaryMKatz.com.